Welcome to the Hacked Off podcast with C.S. Joseph.
And Yuri Skarzinski, who's obviously more than a legend now because he's our liege. Mm-hmm. More on that later. What that means, more on that later. But we'll get there. So great show today, huh?
Yeah,
we got a good show. I'm really excited for our show. Honestly, when we do these shows, my favorite moment in the show, I think it's like the first thing we do. It's like go through the comments and the people shitting on us and the people who should be shat on, and then also the people that like us. Maybe we'll give them some shout outs. I don't know. So what do you got?
Shout out to Cody McGriff for saying, it doesn't quite work well when you start a podcast and start talking crap about people with millions of followers and decades of social proof when you haven't proven yourself, these hosts, in parentheses, yet.
Like, okay, clearly this guy has never been in show business before. It's called punching up. Like, come on.
No, you're not allowed to criticize anyone unless you have millions of followers.
Okay. So we can't just start from somewhere.
Well, he doesn't have as many followers as you, so he shouldn't be commenting. You must not be aware that you have another YouTube channel with 70,000 subscribers. But
okay. Yeah. Well, I guess
so he's not following his own rule there.
Yeah. Maybe he's butthurt over the fact that we just exposed how his shitty ass SDism has made his life and everyone else's life miserable.
Yeah, well, there's not anything here that's like actually criticizing anything we're saying. He's just saying we don't have the right to say anything or criticize anything.
Oh, okay. So we're just gonna do
no substance
mentality of he's got credit complex, obviously.
Yeah. You're not allowed to say anything unless you have followers, no matter how objectively true it is.
What if?
Or how good of a point we make.
What if that man is like I don't know, gallivanting around? My father, he has a credit complex, right? And
well, how many followers does he have? Not enough.
I don't.
Not millions.
Credit complexers, folks, when they're your parent, sometimes it feels like your only value to them is based on what you achieve to make them look better, right? I wonder if Cody McGriff is going to be treating his children the same way.
If he has any, or ever will have any.
Oh well, if he's SD, probably ain't going to happen.
Or someone else's, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, because honestly, if you're an SD male, women don't even notice you. You're not even like you don't even show up. You're part of the 80%, schlubs out there that women don't even notice. So okay, what's next?
Oh, that was it.
That was the only comment.
That was the only comment.
The only comment on the note.
There's older stuff, but not worth mentioning at this point.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh well, more comments, folks. We'll give you attention. For the good and the bad and the ugly. Who knows? Who knows what it is? All right, let's go on. So we've been going out of our way to really build up the idea of what an unconscious developed man is versus a subconscious developed man, which this entire psychological interaction and definition is ultimately the drive behind what this show is. This is the Hacked Off podcast, and we're basically stating that subconscious developed men, well, they're hacked off because they've had their dicks chopped off, by society, or their mothers, or their lack of fathers, or they're also hacked off father, or women in general, or schools, or basically anything in Western civilization, basically, because it is entirely designed to castrate all men and emasculate all men. So apparently men have no value. I mean, obviously, because, we're the disposable sex, and as a result of being the disposable sex, they're creating a culture of men who don't have anything to lose. And when that happens and society inevitably collapses, those men who have nothing to lose are going to fill in the gaps, the power vacuum, and cause some huge problems. Now, you probably don't even know if you are an unconscious developed man or a subconscious developed man? You probably don't even know. So where are you going to go to find out? Well, you do that at school.com/CS Joseph, and that's SKOOL. You could also go to octagram.me, which is OCTRAGRAM.ME, and take the personality test that you're given. It's horribly out of date, but at least it can tell you your cognitive development very easily. And then once you have that, you're established essentially for knowing if you're UD or SD. I think the test does a decent enough job to actually pull that off, so you have that. So yeah, or you just get on school and then take the actual course that educates you on all the psychological concepts, so you actually know what you're doing and can do it yourself, and you can identify other men in terms of subconscious development. And then maybe, after you take the course and you're an SD man, you'd be like, yeah, I'm part of the majority. I feel safe with my safety in numbers because I took Chase's course. Yes. Or you could be the UD man who takes Chase's course and then has to deal with the severe depression with realizing just how fucking alone you really actually are. So either way, it'll be soul crushing or, I don't know, uplifting, because, that's all these SD men fucking care about, is being uplifted, right?
They all need a pep talk to get through their day.
They have to have that pep talk. So,
and even when you give them the pep talk, they don't want to do anything after that. They just feel better about not doing anything.
They feel better, yeah. I realized, I just sometimes I have to feel like their mommy. Yeah, because they don't want a daddy, because, if you spank them, they're going to blame you. That's the problem with SD men. I remember my mother telling me as a child, hey, there's this day going to come, and it's probably going to be when you're an adult, but people are going to stop spanking their children, and when that happens, society's going to fall apart, and it's going to be really bad. And this is why I have to spank you. She would tell me this. This is why I have to spank you, so that you're not going to be acting like all of those people later in society. I'm like, okay, yes, thank you, mother, for beating my ass. With a wooden spoon with holes in it, and then hanging it above my door that I grew up with, hanging it above my door to remind me that if I ever act out, she's going to grab the spoon and nail me with it. That was her thing. So, but honestly, I was kind of thankful for it, because in general, I was a little shit. Except for the times that I perceived that I was being treated unfairly. But more on that later. Actually, if you want to really know about that, you really should, because it'll change your life. Again, go to school, get a membership with us, $29 a month, change your life forever.
Season 40.
Yeah, season 40. It's in season 40.
And when you're taking the test, if you're one of these people that are like, oh, well, both these things apply to me, well, obviously you pick the one that applies to you most.
Yeah.
It's like primary and secondary.
How useful is it to you to know how to differentiate between subconscious developed people, men and women, and unconscious developed people?
Oh, it's the first thing I think about when I meet new people.
First thing,
yeah.
What was the previous first thing?
I don't know. Not that. Yeah, just everything except for that.
Oh, sometimes it's like, oh, is this guy trustworthy or not, or is he trustworthy, or is this guy a dick? Sometimes people have these little scripts in their heads, but in my experience, every time we've taught this skill to people, it is the first thing every single time. What is your cognitive development? I mean, because when you know a cognitive development of a woman, it's like, oh, okay, oh, so you're the hot chick who's probably a hoe with a giant body count, or you're the quiet girl who's probably still a virgin, and that's awesome. And 20% of women are just the quiet girls at this point.
And that's the UD women.
Those are the UD women.
And then the SD women, they're the queen bees.
Yeah, the SD women are they're all trying to be the boss babes. They're all trying to be the queen bees, and they have huge body counts. They've had so many men inside of them. And then they have to have those subconscious developed male schlubs rescue these single mothers much later and ruin everyone else's lives and become adulterers, apparently, because that's what we do. And it does not matter if she's divorced or not. You're still an adulterer, biblically speaking, unless, of course, her man initiated divorce with her, but she also did not cheat on him. And in that situation, then it's justified. But other than that, which it probably statistically is never that, yeah, they're adulterers. So I just want to hear it. This is such bullshit. But anyway, what is the basic descriptions? So subconscious developed men, how you spot them, they're very closed off, they're very implosive, they don't share about anything about themselves. These are the people who claim to be strong, silent types. These are the strong, silent types. They're very stoic looking. The problem is that they're non-confrontational. They don't want to have anything to do with conflict. And they shit on anyone else who's like giving them bad vibes, bro. Anyone that might even look like conflict might spring out just because of their presence. They will try to remove that person, not have anything to do with that person, ostracize that person, cannibalize that person, or in general harm that person with their mob mentality and their pitchforks and their torches. And they kind of just act like Gaston, who is also, you know, our favorite Disney clone of Caveman, by the way. Favorite Disney clone. That's Gaston with his mob mentality, you know, going after the Beast, who is an unconscious developed man in the Beauty and the Beast film. My favorite Disney film, by the way. You know, and like Belle was obviously my favorite Disney princess because she's smoking hot, let's be honest. And all of the other Disney princesses are kind of either like, well, no, they like, where are they? Where's the feminine? It's just not there. They're not even.
Well, the SD women, the queen bees, they think the SD men are masculine because they appear strong and silent.
Yes. Yeah.
And their definition
they
of
have that,
who's like a masculine or not is how much shit they're able to put up with from the woman.
I just dropped a YouTube video about this on YouTube on my other channel, which is the CS Joseph YouTube channel, where I'm literally talking about this stupid relationship bias because all these subconscious developed women who are women who did not get enough attention from daddy as little girls, and because of that they became subconscious developed, and now they're expecting all men to be these castrated weak ass men who are incapable of decision making and make decisions entirely based on vibes. You know, I mean, they must be really good at vibe coding, you know, because they're
let's make the decisions if they're not making decisions, and they prefer that because they're subconscious developed women, the queen bees.
The Jezebels of the world. I mean, honestly, all subconscious developed women, to be frank, like unless they were a virgin and have only been with one man in their life, I just kind of collectively label them as Jezebels, frankly. And it's not necessarily their fault. It's more that society has perpetuated this form of nurture upon these girls who have become subconscious developed women. They become the boss babes. They become emasculated. They become just utterly disgusting creatures, quite frankly. Subconscious developed women just end up ruling over everyone else because they're the only one, like, they rely on their own judgment. They don't, because they've kind of had to survive in an area where they just feel like they didn't have any support as children. So then society builds them up to be these boss babes, etc. But then they can only be in relationships with weak men, which they end up divorcing and going for other men in the process. But then they can't even mentally handle that. The problem is that subconscious development is so rampant, and it's 80% of the population, especially in the West, that they will statistically end up alone. In fact, there's like a stat recently that's like over half of childbearing age women between 18 and 35 or 18 and 40, they're alone. They're entirely alone. Like, and I mean, that's what they get, because why get married? Why? So I'm going to risk you taking my stuff away that I earned, that I work for. I'm going to risk you taking my children away that I earn and work for. And I'm going to risk your ungrateful ass telling lies about me in court that I never did or whatever. But everyone's just going to believe you by default because you're playing the whole damsel in distress thing, which is actually a psychological support structure that was designed for the quiet girls, for the unconscious developed women. It was made for them, basically, because they have a tendency to not speak up. But then you have the loudmouth SD women who consistently are speaking up all the time. They have the loud, and they used to be the loud minority, but now they're the loud majority. And there's like so much noise everywhere. So why even get involved with that? Like they're just.
And it plays into the vibes, right? Like the SD male vibe consensus, all takes as a woman, crying about something. And she would be the loud one doing it too.
Yeah,
and that plays right into the SD men.
Exactly.
Especially in the court system, like the whole jury is probably going to be SD.
Yeah, they're all
SD
SD.
women. Yeah.
Exactly, because they want to. They outsource their thinking, they outsource their feelings to society, and that's how they make their choices. And it's like this consistent, endless herd mentality. That is what it is to be SD. It's herd mentality. Except the women, the SD women, are the shepherds of the herd. It literally is matriarchal society. And they're like down with the patriarchy, and it's like, okay, we can definitely take the patriarchy away. We're going to go take our patriarchy and just go over here, okay, away from you. And then your society is going to collapse. And because you ladies are not giving any sex whatsoever to the SD male losers that you are in your herds that you're controlling or whatever, those herds are going to convert to mob mentality, and then they're going to rebel against you SD women, and they're going to do things to you, and it's not going to be good when society inevitably collapses, okay? So you folks probably might want to rethink your psyches a little bit and your ego investments given the extreme risk, because I tell you, inevitably what's going to happen, the same thing that the Russians did to all of the Germans at the end of World War II is exactly what, in my opinion, the subconscious developed men are going to do to all of the women when Western society inevitably collapses. And the UD men will not be here to save you. I mean, it's kind of like my favorite scene from that movie Watchmen, and the little monologue that a character that I enjoy from the movie named Rorschach, he's given a monologue, and he's like, you know, am I going to save them? And he's like, no, absolutely not. And he's UDSF, ENTP, very disturbed, very angry person. So.
There's also a documentary about exactly that topic.
Yeah.
After the end of World War II.
Yes.
It's called Hellstorm.
Hellstorm?
Yeah. 2015 documentary.
Really?
Yeah.
All right,
so
folks,
maybe everyone should watch that.
Watch Hellstorm and realize, like, your subconscious development, so-called fake heaven that we have here in this society. See, like, you people need to understand, like, if you're not willing to invest in a real hell because it's real, you have to value real, because you can have heaven or hell, and you can have real or fake, okay? And some people do have fake hell. That some people do. Those are like people with victim mindset. But then you have people who have fake heaven. But honestly, no matter what, I would rather have real hell over fake heaven. And most unconscious developed men understand that concept, because they have to understand real hell in order to hold back the real hell just to protect their women and children, or ultimately society for that matter. Do you think these unconscious developed men give a shit about you anymore? No, they don't. We don't. We don't give a shit. And when this thing completely crashes down around you and is burning everywhere, we're not going to be here to save you. Why? Because we're tired of you disrespecting us. We're tired of you treating us unfairly. We're tired of not getting any reward out of it whatsoever. And we're also very tired of your unreasonable ass, where we can't even communicate with you and you just take our voices away. So as a result, we're done with you, and we're going to go have our own society away from you. And then you're going to be knocking on our doors and begging us to join our society, and we're going to refuse you at the door. And then you could be out there where there's crying, weeping, and gnashing of teeth, where you belong. That's your future. Unless, of course, you listen to our podcast and then change and grow and actually become better and maybe become a member at our school at school.com/CSJoseph, so you can be educated to pull your brain out of the freaking gutter and actually get your stupid ass societal implanted ego investments out of your skull and actually become a person of actual character, instead of this weird ass amalgamation or golem that has been shaped by society into what you are now, this subconscious developed male cuck, or this subconscious developed female Jezebel. You're like literally no different between Jezebel and Ahab from the Bible. You should probably read that and like check out the prophet Elijah.
And it's not sour grapes either, because we're not even compatible with the SD women.
We're not even compatible with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be compatible with SD women.
Yeah.
Oh, look at...
It's mainly how they affect us on a societal level, not
Yeah.
on an individual level.
Oh, look at those guys on the Hacked Off podcast, because they're so annoyed that they can't get laid, and it's like, girl, we don't want to be with trash like you. Like, no, thank you. Like, you and I talked about this recently. Like this is the new racism. Ultimately,
Yeah, psychological
this is the new racism. It's
yeah.
a psychological racism. That's what this is. This is prejudice. And yes, we are prejudiced against subconscious developed people. We have to be, because you people are so, you may not even be aware of it, but your insanely high amount of entitlement is literally leading us, all of us. You're not even conscious of how abusive you are and how abusive this society actually is. Like the fact that single moms are so common is so ridiculous. The fact that you've taken children away from their fathers, their unconscious developed fathers, who will actually cause those children to be unconscious developed, which is a superior nurturer to be in instead of subconscious development. Like, you have literally taken away what was so great in society in that film, It's a Wonderful Life with George Bailey. You have completely taken it and you have twisted it into The Simpsons. You've twisted it into Family Guy. You have twisted it into King of the Hill. These stupid-ass sitcoms. You've twisted it in the worst sitcom of all, Friends. You've twisted it into that bullshit. And that's that's your fake heaven, right? You really like that? You really like that fake heaven? Or what about the real hell that George Bailey was in that film, It's a Wonderful Life? That real hell where it's like, hey, I'm dealing with the crash of 29 and all of my money is gone and we can't afford anything, and people are trying to rush to go on a run on the bank and get their money out of it, and they're literally at the beginning of the Great Depression. That's real hell. But the UD men stood up and they handled it, okay? But imagine that kind of pandemonium today with all these weak-ass subconscious development who are only in it for themselves. Like, do you honestly believe that we're going to have a future from that perspective? Unconscious development don't act that way. But here's the thing. There's no reward in it. There's no reward. The Bible says that women are the glory of man. So men like women because women are our glory. Do you know what's also cool about the Bible? Women were not, men were not created for women, and they were not created equal. No. Men or women were created for men.
Yeah, but SD society reverses that.
Yeah.
The entire dynamic is flipped.
Completely reverse it.
Yeah.
So like when I'm out in public and, I see women, I meet women or whatever, or whenever I'm in the presence of women, I have this expectation of being treated well by a woman every time. And if they do not, I will make sure that they understand that they're not welcome, very much so. I will judge them. I will shame them. I will guilt them every time. Because as an unconscious developed man, or a man in general, it is my job to put my life on the line for any woman, even if she is some subconscious developed emasculating cunt that I just don't want to have anything to deal with. I am still required to lay down my life for that woman. And if she's not going to be treating me well, I will hold her in the absolute highest contempt and do it publicly. Like, I will emasculate her, basically, because I have this expectation that women should be very grateful towards men, that we have this expectation of dying for them, that maybe they should, in general, collectively, treat us with a lot more respect.
And that applies to everyone because we have the draft, which only applies to men.
Yes.
So if you don't like it, then either women should be drafted or get rid of the draft entirely.
Yeah, exactly.
Or have it so that men aren't the only ones that have to be signed up for it when it does come.
Yeah, like if you want that to change, then stop being entitled and actually do it. Like, I'm just not interested in that. The problem is that why get married? Why commit to a woman? What do you get out of it? Like, it's in general, it's hell. It's hell in Western civilization. I mean, even in the East, it's a problem too, but it's way more of a problem here in the West, and it's absolutely hell. And honestly, it's so hard that when you're a man and you're trying to find a woman, you go out there, you see these subconscious developed women, and they're already shaped by society. They're shaped by the fact that their father isn't around because she's raised by a single mom, or her father's subconscious developed male loser who They have this thing with parenting. It's called laissez-faire, because like my dad, he's laissez-faire in terms of parenting. And he'd always tell all the time, "I just don't want to be the bad guy." He would say that all the time in terms of parenting. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the bad guy.
He doesn't want to wield the wooden spoon?
No, he doesn't want to wield the wooden spoon.
Let the woman do that when it should be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other way around.
My mom beat my ass compared to my father. He probably maybe did it once or twice ever, maybe like 5 times.
But if someone's going to do it, it should be the father, and
It
not
should be
the
the
mother.
father,
Yeah.
exactly. But he's laissez-faire. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. What is he now? The greatest bad guy of my life. Like, what the hell? Like his mind is twisted by this societal crap. He's a pastor of a church, right? He is worshiping the Tower of Babel of society itself. He has no idea that society is his idol. He has no clue because he is reliant on society instead of being reliant on God, the Creator. That's the actual problem. And all subconscious developed men, all of them, commit the sin. That's why we have to have the rite of passage, because then it takes away all of the safety nets of society and family and friends and everything out from under them. And it's like, can you stand on your own? That's why it's important to cultivate unconscious development through the rite of passage. The problem is that women aren't really the prize that they used to be. Not at all. You know, like you come home to a woman and you're at your second job. Or you come home to a woman and you were at work, you come home, and then you come home into prison. Basically. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Like, women in general are just burdens. Like, 80% of women out there are subconscious developed women, and they're burdens. They're burdens. There are burdens on me. There are burdens on men everywhere. And they are so just in general entitled. And the subconscious developed men are also entitled because subconscious developed men want these women who didn't get enough attention as girls when they were growing up, and now they're mommy. Because why do these SD men want mommy? Because they got all of the attention. They were the biggest attention whores growing up, and because they're these huge attention whores, guess what? They get all the attention, and so because of that, mommy, oh, you're 18 now, I can't give you attention anymore, and then, he can't get attention from mommy, so he's got to go get attention from a subconscious developed woman. And so it just continues to perpetuate this huge problem. Let me tell you about a woman that I like, though. I like the quiet girls, not the hot chicks. See, like, imagine...
The UD women.
Unconscious developed women.
Unconscious developed.
Imagine a woman who, she's just sitting there in the library studying, right? Because she has to, because her stupid parents who are statistically subconscious developed are forcing her to study because we can't trust men. We can't trust men because, her SD father or her likely SD stepfather is projecting himself, right, onto men in general. And maybe her mother is projecting SD men, out there for her daughter. It's like, oh, we can't trust men. There's no men out there. So you have to go to school, go to college, get a job.
Yeah, and leave the house at 18.
Yeah, and leave the house at 18.
Because they raise their
stupid.
daughters like their sons.
Yeah, they raise their daughters. Yeah, it's so stupid, dude. It's so stupid. So you have this quiet girl, and she sits in the library, and that's one of the places you can find UD women is in the library studying for dear life because they're trying to get a job because it's not like their parents are going to be there for them. Oh, no, you have to go get a job. You have to eat on your own, and you can't trust men. Then they get into college and they do they do women's studies, which is basically just like weaponized feminism shoved down their throats. And then if they don't complete that class, then guess what? They can't graduate. It's so like you're forced. You are literally indoctrinated. You are forced to get anywhere in life. And these women are so scared of men in general, and they should be because of how SD men are. Because SD men they don't commit. SD men just use. They just run these girls through, and they completely take advantage of these women, and it's absolutely atrocious. And that's all these women have to look forward to. So these quiet girls are scared shitless. They're so scared they don't even want to leave home, but they're forced to be in the library because they have to study, because their parents are making them study.
Because all of society is trying to make UD women into SD, just like they're doing to the men.
Exactly.
Trying to make us into SD
Yeah.
men. Everyone has to conform to the cookie cutter mold.
Exactly. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something why I like quiet girls, why I like UD women. Here's why I like it. You meet her, she doesn't look great. Like, she's probably a 4 out of 10. 4 or 5 out of 10 woman. Maybe a little chubby. She can't do her hair to save her life. She can't dress herself to save her life. She can't do her makeup. She's just forced to like be in study, whatever. But let me tell you something that's really great about UD women. They're really good at following. They're really good at following. And if a woman can follow a man, guess what? So I can take a UD woman like that, and I can turn her into not just a hot chick. I could turn her into my hot chick.
Which brings us to the Play-Doh model.
The Play-Doh model.
Yeah.
Yes, the Play-Doh model. So here's the thing, girls. You know, you see those SD women out there, they got their makeup caked on, they got their hair on point, they got their cumbrellas on their eyes. I mean, I'm sorry, what are those called? Like lashes? Yeah. Okay, they got, you know, they got their tats, right? And yeah, you like that one? Yeah. So we're joined with the Peanut Gallery here today. It's fun. They're always welcome.
The live studio audience.
The live studio audience. Hell yeah. So here we go. Like these women, they got their hair extensions or whatever. They're boss babes. They're trying so hard, competing with one another to become the queen bee. They're ultimately disgusting, and they think they're in charge, and they think they're smarter than you because they're more educated, you know, with their women's studies. And it's like, okay, I don't think you could like actually pump out a sewer like ever. I don't think you could actually get that job done, but whatever. The point is that these women, they've already been shaped and molded by society because their father didn't shape and mold them at all. What is a father's duty to his daughter is actually to not shape her, actually, and just let her be who she is and give her an environment where she feels safe and everything is taken care of every single time. Here's an example. You have a child, you have a daughter, and you have a son. And then they both get stuck up in a tree at the same time. There's 2 trees, and dad is standing between 2 trees looking at his 2 children who thought it would be a good idea to compete with one another to see who can climb up the tree higher than the other. And they're both stuck up there. And he's like, all right, I'll be right back. He goes, you stay there. He goes to the garage. He pulls out his big-ass ladder, and he comes out and sticks the ladder right underneath his daughter's tree. And he gets up into the tree, and he grabs his daughter and takes her down and sets her on the ground. And his son is sitting up in the tree, and is like, hey, what about me? As he takes the ladder and takes it back to the garage. And then he comes back after the garage, and his son's like, Dad, why aren't you getting me down with the ladder? And he said, hey, you figured out how to get up there. You could figure out how to get down from there. It's that whole entire concept. That is proper parenting of children. But that requires a caring and loving father to do that because he is protecting his daughter from being molded. If he expected his daughter to try to figure out and get down, that would technically be molding her and actually masculinizing her. And if he actually got the ladder and got his son down, he would be emasculating his own son. That's the point, okay?
And single mothers will do that. They'll be the ones, even if they are the authoritarian, not the laissez-faire parent, they will still coddle their sons.
They'll still coddle. Yeah, it's all about coddling. And coddling
overall
in childhood creates an expectation of safety nets in adulthood. Yeah, it's like, this is why police and firefighters are overglorified in the United States of America, and it's because of SDism. Because, anything dangerous, I don't have to deal with that, so I'm just going to outsource that as a man to them. You know, and they're overglorified. And it's like, okay.
And then men are undervalued as the actual protectors.
Yeah, men are undervalued.
If someone breaks in the front door, the man has to immediately respond. The cops take, 10 plus 30 minutes to show up.
Yeah.
But then they get all the credit. So then the man is undervalued for being the protector. in that case.
Yep. What about those videos you can watch where you watch the subconscious developed men, and then they do have a break in and they just stand there and let the SD woman do the fighting. Like I've seen those videos and it's like, wow, dude, you're fucking worthless. Like I can imagine like some Russian dude drinking some vodka on the other side of the planet watching those videos and be like, oh, those American idiots. It's gonna be so easy to take them out.
Well, that's why all these women have dogs, so the dog can do the
Oh yeah. They have to have their dog.
Well, the large dogs, that's the boyfriend replacer.
Oh.
And then
okay.
the small dogs, that's to replace the children.
Yeah, okay. Wow, I didn't even think of that. Like, actually, I didn't think of that, but that's a good point. I learned something today. Anyway, so the Play-Doh model. What is the Play-Doh model? The Play-Doh model is that a woman is Play-Doh, basically. And there's nothing like when you go to the store, let's say you go to Target, right? And you get fresh Play-Doh. You open it up, it smells so good. It feels great on the fingers. It can be molded, it can be shaped. And then you have the really used up Play-Doh over a long time. It's kind of crunchy. It ain't soft anymore. It doesn't smell so good. It's actually pretty dirty. It's got a lot of dirt in it. Can't really do much with that kind of Play-Doh, right? Those are the subconscious developed women, the used up Play-Doh. The unconscious developed women are the fresh Play-Doh, okay? And men want to marry fresh Play-Doh. You know what fresh Play-Doh looks like? Virgins. That's what they look like. They look like virgins. They look like able to follow a man's lead, as taught by Zach Rody in his book, Don't Let Her Lead, basically. And a lot of women can't handle that.
Well, the measure of how good a woman is how pliable she is.
Yeah, and
not how resistant she is.
You have to shape her. Like I've unconscious developed women in my life. Like I have turned them into something amazing. There's this UD fat chick that I knew, and she was huge. But I knew that there was something about her that was worth engaging. She was one of my clients. So I gave her a plan. I helped her with her fashion. I gave her some advice. I gave her some advice in terms of her health and fitness. I got her on organic, non-GMO food. I helped her get on a fat loss plan, and she did it. And she slimmed down, and now she's a mother. She's married and a mother. And it's pretty amazing. And she went from someone that no man would even bother noticing and probably be disgusted by just even having her around, versus like she's basically a walking Victoria's Secret model quality level of woman with gorgeous beauty, is a mother, is an excellent wife. And as soon as daddy comes home, like it's all about him every single time, as it should be, because she's actually grateful. Imagine a woman being grateful. Subconscious developed women in general, I judge them as ungrateful women.
And they want the men to be the Play-Doh.
Yeah, they want the men to be the Play-Doh. Yeah, tell me about that.
Which is why, well, if you have an unconscious developed man with a subconscious developed woman, they both want the other person to be Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And conform to them.
Yeah.
Hence the incompatibility.
Yeah.
Which is why the SD woman wants the strong, silent, stoic, pliable Play-Doh of a man.
Yep.
So again, it goes back to the inversion, like men created for women, or were women created for men.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is a very good concrete example of that inversion. I actually told I told my wife CK, I'm like, hey, you're my favorite Play-Doh. You're the best Play-Doh I ever had. And it's just like it's just perfect, and I can turn you into anything I want. And of course she's looking at me with her doe eyes and being like, oh, my husband really adores me. And I'm like, yes, I do. Okay, stuff like that. But like she's the kind of woman that in the morning I'll be like, okay, you need to wear this, this, and this. Like I'll just tell her, you're wearing this today. Oh, actually a couple of days ago, she'd changed her clothes 4 times. Because I just told her, okay, you're changing your clothes. You're doing this. Okay, you need to put on this outfit because we're going to go do this. You're going skating. You got to put on this outfit. I do that. And she gets the benefit that quiet girls, that UD women really want, and that is to shut their brains off. They want
shutting your brain off is being the best Play-Doh.
Is being the best. Yeah, exactly. It is.
And the UD women, when they're single for too long, they're not used to being Play-Doh.
Nope.
So when they have to be Play-Doh again, they're like, oh, well, who am I? Am I really myself if I'm conforming to some other thing? Well, that's because they've been conditioned by society for too long.
Their identity crisis.
So it doesn't even come naturally to them anymore. There was a woman on the Discord server talking about that. She's like, well, who am I if I'm being harmonious?
Yeah. There's actually been some UDJ women that I have seen or I've allowed close to me or that I have considered for marriage within my time, because I don't date, and dating is stupid. I only consider for marriage. But, you know, like dating would assumes that the man is going to ask out the woman. I don't ask out women. It's like, okay, well, are you going to slide into my DMs or not? Oh, you slid into my DMs. Okay, well, I guess that means you're crushing on me, so then I'll consider you for marriage. No crush, no consideration. By the way, no dating. And dating would imply that I would have to be the one to initiate with a woman.
Exact thing came up.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. yeah. Should we...
Go ahead and read the messages, yeah.
This is a piece of history. Okay.
So this is a UDJ woman.
Yeah.
And you're trying to see how good of Play-Doh she'll be.
Yes. How good of Play-Doh?
Like you're sidestepping the entire dating societal expectation.
God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah.
And she's not used to that. It's probably the first time in her life where someone has said, no, we're not dating. I'm either considering you for marriage or we're moving on. We're not going to do this. We're not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time, which should be a breath of fresh air if they really think about it, right? If they would appreciate that. But if they don't appreciate it, then it's another sign that they're not capable of gratitude.
Yeah.
Which will tie into the 4 reciprocations that we're talking about next.
Yeah. So a little bit of background. So this is a girl who slid in my DMs a long time ago, or maybe I started talking to her. I don't even know how we started talking at all, but it just happened. Like, I actually had this extremely feminist woman in my face recently, and she's like, "Oh, so you used you're on Discord or whatever, and you use Discord to seek out a bunch of women." And I'm like, "No, I don't." They're like, "You don't?" I'm like, "No. They come to me. They come to me. The women come to me. They slide into my DMs. They slide into my messages. I don't initiate with women at all. Why would I need to? They're constantly doing that. They have this thing called mate choice copying anyway. So if you're a man and you're already in an established relationship, women see that and they're going to slide into your DMs even more so, right?
Isn't that also called
pre-selection,
right?
Pre-selection, yeah. My wedding ring attracts more female attention than anything else. And they're like, I'm walking around in public, maybe I'm like at Walmart or something, and I'm just walking around doing what I normally do, and then like women are like, they'll look at me and then they'll look at my hand and they'll be, and then like, you can just tell like inside of their brains, it's like, oh, how does this guy even, or what kind of woman is with this guy, basically? That's what's going on in their minds. They're doing that mate choice copying thing. So anyway, I end up getting a text, an SMS text from this person, and I never noticed it. For a while, and then they get into another social media platform that I'm on, and then they text me there as well. So this woman is trying to get my attention, okay? So the last time I interacted with her, what happened was that she ended up ghosting me, basically. She ended up ghosting me, and it's like, okay, great. You ghosted me, whatever.
So she reached out to you first and then ghosted you after.
Correct.
After you responded.
Yes, that is correct. And then she reached out and texted me, and I didn't see it or cared. And then she got onto a social media platform and finally got my attention. And what did I do? I screenshotted it what she said to me, and then texted it directly to her phone with no context, basically. She says, thank you for your videos. I've never felt seen or understood until I found your content. I wished I was stronger. That was like the general theme. Or she's like, hi, Chase. I don't know if you remember me or have blocked me. I know I have no right. And I'm just like thinking to myself, this is a woman that that had ghosted me previously. And I'm just like, okay, dang. And then literally exactly 30 days later, I get a different message. And it's going like this. And she says, I know I'm not entitled to your attention, and I understand why you cut me off. Looking back, I can see how it may have felt like I took it for granted. She ghosted me. Of course she took me for granted. See, that's the problem with women in general. It doesn't, even the quiet girls have this problem. Even the UD women have this problem when they're UDJ, basically, instead of UDP. If you want to know the difference between UDJ and UDP, school.com/CSJoseph, SKOOL.com/CSJoseph, and do season 40. But yeah, she took my attention for granted. And then she says, I wanted to apologize for that. And then she says, I still think you're a rare and worthwhile person, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't value your attention. If there's a way to earn that back over time, I'd be open to it. If not, I understand. Either way, I'll still be watching your videos. Now, at this point, I'm pretty pissed. Because it's like, this is a woman who clearly has no respect for me whatsoever. No respect. Remember, women were made for men, not the other way around. And she's already being disrespectful at this point.
And it doesn't sound like it because she's paying lip service, but it's not enough. It's
not enough.
Her conduct, not her words.
Yeah, it's her conduct. And it's just like, oh, I'd be lying if I said I didn't value your attention. I'm like, well, where's the action? Where's the action that backs up valuing my attention? Could someone explain this to me?
Yeah, this comes across more like a confession than anything.
So,
like everything she's claiming she's not doing, she did do.
Yeah. So I texted her a photo of that text that she sent me on the social media platform, and I sent it to her, right? And then I said, I'm off the bed, but I messaged you here after what you wrote, just to say, like, yeah, like a human or whatever, you know. Even though, like, this is a woman who has taken me for granted. This is a woman who has ghosted me. Who knows how many men have been inside of her since the last time we interacted, okay? Who knows how much, like, lower quality Play-Doh she is now. Because she's not obviously working to preserve herself. Because that's the thing, folks. Women are born with value. Men are not. Men have to build value in their life. And that's why men consistently, like, that's why you see older men and they're with women that are 30 years younger than themselves. It's because they are consistently building value. Well, women have to preserve their value, and they preserve their value by being really good Play-Doh, right? Well, is this woman preserving her value? Let's see. And then she texts, you know, when she wakes up next morning, I'm not sure I know what you mean, but I like that you message. I'm like, okay. So then my response to that is, in your own words, tell me why I cut you off. That's what I said. Like, I'm not doing that SD mail thing. Oh, you're so hot. I'm so glad you're texting me. You know, I'm not doing that crap.
Yeah, she goes to you.
Yeah.
And we are justified in having the assumption that if a woman goes to you, she's talking to some other guy.
Exactly.
For being a hoe.
Yeah. It's probably being a hoe. I have no idea. And I'm like, in your own words, tell me why you were cut off. And then she says, because I stopped responding and making you feel uncomfortable, ? See, they know what they're doing. Women know what they're doing. Women know how harmful they are. They really actually do. Okay. And then I said in response, dang, I guess I was not that much of a priority to you. What if I was able at that time to sweep you up off your feet and get you off that job and onto better things? Or did you not believe something like that was even possible? Or is that not a consideration because that would be something you weren't interested in to begin with? Load her up with a bunch of questions right away. And then she says, I think I wouldn't have believed it. Also, I was afraid my freedom would be taken away and what that would look like. My response, I never take away the freedom of my woman unless she misuses it. Classic unconscious developed male approach. Classic, okay? And then you could have asked, so I said, I will always be straight with you, but it takes vulnerability to ask. But then again, vulnerability is the source of beauty. And I'm basically implying right here that she's ugly because she is not vulnerable. Vulnerability is proof of being good Play-Doh. And I'm literally implying that. I'm literally telling her she's an ugly bitch.
Because she's been conditioned by society.
Yes.
And you're trying to undo the conditioning.
Undoing the conditioning.
But is she going to be grateful for that?
Exactly. See, men really like virgins because then we don't have to compete with all the societal judgments and all the other men that are inside of a woman's head. We don't want to have to go through the effort. It's too much, and it's not our responsibility. Why the fuck should we fucking care? It's especially worse if she has a child with another man. Because like being pregnant and giving birth is just as psychologically powerful as having sex with a man. So obviously, there's memories there that she'll never be able to go. We want clean slates in our girls. Clean slates, tabula rasas, no history. That is our preference. Why? Because the most attractive woman is the woman with the least history. Why do you think men are attracted towards younger women? Because they have less history. Why do you think women are attracted to older men? Because they have more potential for a better future. It's about history versus potential. And these are the attractors between the sexes right now. But apparently most people are so fucking stupid that they don't understand how real life works.
Women also don't want to be along for the ride. They want to wait at the finish line.
Yeah, they want
Which takes time as a man to get there.
Except for a UD woman. That breaks under a UD woman. A UD woman, a truly UDP, unconsciously developed perceiving female, will be willing to go on the journey with you.
But not if she's UDJ.
But no, not if she's UDJ.
You have to undo the conditioning.
You got to undo the conditioning.
If it's even possible for her.
Exactly. If it's possible.
Because you're up against all of society, just you.
Yeah.
Against all of the programming.
And definitely not for the SD women. The SD women all expect to be on the finish line. And the UDJ ones are doing the finish line crap too. And they don't really want to be willing to go on the journey. And then they feel bad that they have to go on a journey. I've had a UDJ woman tell me that. It's like, well, I feel bad that I have to wait around and do all this, and it's just like, bitch, this is my life. This is literally my life. Like, do you want to be in my life or not? What are you gonna fucking do about it? Like, are you actually gonna be wife material and act like wife material? You know, fresh Play-Doh, or are you just gonna be like this, sandy Play-Doh bitch that I have to like somehow try to like add more moisture into you and add some of that water, try to get it to work, do something of value. But like that ain't happening. So anyway, so I said, but then again, vulnerability is a source of beauty, where I'm implying that she's being ugly. And then she's like, you're right, but I'd still be skeptical until you proved it. She told me that she would still be skeptical with me unless I proved it.
What more do you have to prove?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That just means she can't recognize value when she sees it, but apparently she saw it to message you in the first place, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Because why? Does she even have a reason?
Because she just wants something out of me.
It's just entitlement.
It is.
Entitlement.
It's pure unadulterated entitlement. So then I had no choice but to ask her, what does freedom look like to you? Define it for me. That's right. And then she responds, I like how you talk. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not putting up with your bullshit. And then she says, freedom is freedom to leave at any point and be okay and safe. I don't know if I've ever been with someone that I felt fully secure with.
The freedom to leave and be back on the streets alone?
Yeah, probably. I kind of barfed when I read this. So I had to make fun of her in immediate response. She probably took it as a compliment, but I was actually being a complete dick. And I said, I like how you listen. Because I was very much facetious. I was very sarcastic at that point. I like how you listen. And then I said, well, if you don't feel secure with me, then we can't be together. But that would require you to put in the effort to get to know me instead of treating me like some kind of afterthought like you did before. The way I see it, dating is a waste of time, which is why I don't participate in the behavior. So for me, there is only consideration for marriage. So it is not dating, it is instead a considering. And I can consider you. But I need to know you aren't going to repeat what you did last time. Why? Because I'm not here to waste my time or your time. Look at that masculine idealism I had, about trying not to waste a woman's time. Because women don't have time. They all imagine that they have all the time in the world. They have no time in the world, actually. Women have no fucking time because they're aging. And as they age, they gain history. And the more history a woman has, the less attractive she is.
The UD women have it worse because the SD women can kind of get away with being older because the SD men will still go along for that.
Because they get that mommy thing.
Yeah.
They want their mommy. They want to marry their mommy. So
the UD women better figure it out quick before they get too old.
Very quick.
Because then none of the UD men are going to want them. Maybe the SD men will, but then they're going to be an incompatible UD woman with SD man relationship, which is a disaster. Because then they're both Play-Doh and no one's molding either of them, and they're just like they're stagnant.
Oh yeah.
And then all the problems get brushed under the rug because they're both emotionally implosive.
Yeah,
they're not actually talking about anything.
Yeah.
And then everything blows up in their face, and they wonder why that happened.
There was another point I was going to make relating to that. I forgot what it was. It'll probably come up. Anyway, I sent this text to her at a particular time, and then 3 hours later, I sent this text to her. Given that I haven't heard back from you, I believe that you've decided to ghost me yet again. And then she immediately texts back at this moment, says, not true. And I'm like, very good, glad I said something. And then she's like, I was sleeping. If a woman actually had any fucking respect for a man, she would inform him, hey, I'm going to sleep right now, I won't be able to respond to you. But that's how fucking entitled this person is. She's so entitled. It's so ridiculous. Like, really, you're sleeping? You're sleeping? Like, come on. Okay.
Sleeping her opportunity with you away.
Right? Oh yeah. Well,
if that's even true, she could even be lying.
Yeah, this whole thing could be a fabrication.
Because that would be.
This could be like a honeypot trying to get me to act in a certain way so they could get screenshots and try to shame me and my reputation later. When in reality, it's just no, why the fuck are you texting me right now? Are you actually trying to get with me for real, or are you just going to be a dumb bitch about it, or are you actually trying to actually harm me and go out of your way to harm me? Who the fuck are you?
Well, that, and you've already criticized her for ghosting you.
Yeah.
So she's going to be averse to having the same criticism against her yet again.
Yes.
So she's going to come up with an excuse to make it seem like, oh, well, I'm learning, even if she isn't.
Her excuse was I was sleeping. And then I said, all right, it would be best that moving forward that you refrain from leaving me hanging. This is classic unconscious developed men putting a fucking boundary. And it's here's my fucking boundary, bitch. Are you going to break it or not? If you fucking break it, get out. That's where that is. And then I say, as I take it as disrespect and an action that indicates I am not a priority to you. I have boundaries and I enforce them. But if you need to sleep, let me know. This is me engaging with my unconscious developed male leadership to see if she's actually someone who's capable of following me and following my lead, right there with that statement. And then I do in parentheses, and this is why I do a big test for her, and I'm like, what hours are you working and typically available for phone calls? Not that I wanted to have a phone call with her. That is not it. It was basically to see if she would be willing to share something private about herself with me as a test.
Yeah, another vulnerability
test. Yeah. She failed that, by the way. She says, I do need to sleep, but I could explain more tomorrow. I want to process what you're saying. And then I'm like, let me give you a tip to process. I went into Instagram, went into my marriage folder, found a meme, screenshotted it, and immediately texted it to her in response. And then she says, you move somewhat fast. This gives me a bit of anxiety. And then my meme says, quote, every girl wants a good man until that good man sets boundaries, doesn't tolerate disrespect, pushes you to be better, and has self-respect. But now you're claiming he's insecure and controlling.
Well, she can have it both ways. Either pick the guy that's going to not waste her time, or the guys that are.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
And it comes with pros and cons.
Yeah.
But obviously, the solution is right here. Women have limited time, especially UD women.
Yeah.
She wants to try her luck with some guy who's going to waste her time because it makes her more comfortable and allows her to not express vulnerability.
She can be comforted into hell, yeah, and she can be tortured into heaven. That's literally the choice. Like, it's so stupid. I said, I show you this because I care. And then she said, you move somewhat fast, which gives me a bit of anxiety, to which I responded, what kind of anxiety? And then she asks, are you in a relationship already? Anxiety because I'm not sure what I'm getting into. And then she says, how do you know what I want? Do you know? What do you want? What if we don't want the same things? She says. And then my response, I believe I made it clear online and to my community that I am a polygynist and have multiple wives. And then I say to her, I know that you want me, because I'm saying it in response to how do you know what I want? Do you know what do you want, etc. That's why you are here with me right now. What do I want? It's great that you ask questions. I want to make sure that my past does not become my children's future or anyone else's future for that matter. I will be changing the world with my new system that I'm working on. And I want to have a very large and very healthy family with many children and be self-sufficient and hopefully independent of society. And since I'm here speaking to you now, maybe there's some way that we could achieve this together. For it is written, quote, I know the plans that I have for you to prosper you and to not harm you and to give you a future and a hope. Her immediate response, all right, so you're building a cult. Dang, I didn't know you practiced polygamy. Maybe this isn't what I thought. And I'm like, okay, so you're just some fucking thirst trap or some weird bullshit here. Like, it's like, okay, you're not serious. No, I'm trying to reverse society's incorrect direction towards SDism and get it back on track towards UDism like it's supposed to be. You can ask me why I practice polygyny if you are inclined. And then she's like, well, even if inclined, it wouldn't change our misalignment, but tell me. To which I go on. Misalignments happen, but women often give them up for the sake of being able to be with the man they choose. That's just how life is. The alternative is to sleep with more men, hoping to find someone else she wants. But that is not how women's hearts work. Furthermore, if she chooses to be celibate, then she will end up a cat mom or dog mom like the rest, never fully realizing her full potential. It's like when I see women refusing to marry over religion, but end up giving up their religion and following the man's religion every single time anyway. Misalignments are just a normal part of a woman's life. Is she going to enter into her man's life and let him lead, which is the feminine way? Or is she going to be masculine and expect the man to enter her life and she leads him? Subconscious developed women. I'm only in it for the feminine women, not the manly women. That's what I said to her, which she didn't really respond to. And then she says, what makes you think you could lead me? That requires earned trust, right? I don't like sharing. So I had no choice but to be a cheeky bastard at this moment and then say, here's an example of what I mean. And I literally linked her Orion Tarabon's video on YouTube, Women Are Making Society Polygamous, the surprising consequence of female success. In response to that. And then I directly replied to, what makes you think you could lead me? And I'm like, I can lead any woman. And like you, I'm committed to fairness. Although I suspect you misunderstand fairness and label it equality or partnership. I'm not here for an equal partner. I am here for a helper. Quote, it's not good for a man to be alone. Therefore, I'll make a helper suitable unto him. End quote. I'm literally quoting the Bible to this woman. And then I said, I suspect you're a suitable helpmate. I also suspect that you're mother material to the max. And then she's like, but just because she's mother material doesn't mean she's wife material. That's different. That's different, by the way. But let's see.
You don't want to be single mother material.
Yeah, you don't want to be single mother material, that's for sure. And then she asks, what does this mean? Then I talk a little bit about my work a little bit. And then she says, I don't know about this. What would I get in return?
So again, it's all about what she gets.
It's all about what she gets.
You're already demonstrating that.
Yeah.
Not with your words, but with your actions.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's not picking up on it.
No, because she's an example of someone who's been so poisoned by society and potentially poisoned by her family that she has just made everything like just has no consideration for like the reality of like her own life. So I respond to that, to what would I get in return? Dear woman, you don't get it, such that I suspect you are too naive to know what you are doing, even in the dating realm. I make this claim because a truly feminine woman is about what she can offer a man, not what she can get out of him. Therefore, this is a red flag. For example, dating is typically where the man proves himself to the woman. However, marriage is where the woman proves herself to the man. And at this point, I'm confident that I do not need to prove myself to you, especially since you reached out to me. By your actions, I can see that you are crushing on me. Thus, your choice within your mind is basically already made. Therefore, at this point, it is actually up to you to prove yourself to me. And then she's like, I need to think about this for some time. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay. And then she ghosted me again.
Until next time.
And then I blocked her.
Oh, I guess there is no next time.
There is no next time. Yeah. Literally just to, but hey.
And
like,
how many years is she going to have to wait to come across another guy like you?
She's never going to forget this. This is stuck in her memory and will haunt her for the rest of her life. Absolutely. Because she's going to be thinking, oh my God, did I have like a chance with him? Could I have been with my favorite YouTuber or whatever? Like, that will always be stuck in the back of her mind for the rest of her life. And even to the point where, because if this is real, right? If this is real, then I'm obviously the apex of this woman's hypergamy, which means any new man that's inside of her, she'll be thinking of me and she'll be thinking about how she could have been with someone like me, which then end up creating development phase later. And she'll development phase and initiate divorce with the man that she finally settles with, because she's going to have to settle, basically. So girls, if you don't want to settle, then maybe you should, submit. But this woman is, in my opinion, incapable of submission. She's incapable. And submission is proof of you being fresh Play-Doh. That's proof of it. There's just no, like, what would I get in return? Like, what kind of entitlement is that? That is like the biggest turnoff. That is the absolute biggest turnoff. It's disgusting. Yeah. And this is a UDJ woman. This is a UDJ woman.
It's like when SD women, like you ask them, like, oh, what do you bring to the table? And they go, oh, I am the table.
Yeah.
It's almost that level of entitlement.
Yeah.
But it's coming from a UD woman because she's been poisoned by society.
Yep.
And you weren't able to undo the poisoning.
Women are so, like...
At least not now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, here's the thing. Like, all people start out implosive, which means women, when they're born, they are born UD. Men, when they're born SD, basically. Everyone starts out implosive. And it's only seeking out attention do they become explosive, essentially. And this is an implosive woman, but it's even worse for the UD women who become J instead of P for perceiving, which are like, the sweet pick-me's of the world. God bless pick-me's. I love the pick-me's. Yeah, like all the men in the room right now are like, pick-me's, awesome. Yeah, pick-me's are superior to any of the other women out there. So just letting you ladies understand that. You probably should like grow the fuck up and realize that that's what men actually want.
So how many of the 4 reciprocations was she following?
Oh,
none of them, right?
Oh yeah,
so we have
like none of them.
Representation. That's the first one. Then we have peace, obedience, and gratitude.
Yeah, that woman is like incapable of obedience. She should have been hella grateful and treating with gratitude that I even gave her another chance to even have a conversation with me, which didn't even happen. There is nothing peaceful about that conversation whatsoever.
And she wasn't representing you well either by referring to what you're building as a cult.
Yeah, as a cult. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's another one she wasn't following.
So basically, she's just proven that she's a woman. And definitely, like for example, like this is a woman that that if I knew like was in like my friend circle or whatever, I would literally tell all of the men to not commit to her. And I would also tell the men in my circle, I would literally tell them, hey, if you do commit to her, we're no longer friends. I would go that far, because like this is an example.
It's not about being controlling. She would poison everyone around our friend, which would extend to us.
Yes. Yeah, and
So to like cut the cancer out, it's like necessary to do that.
it completely. This
Yeah.
is a woman who would destroy all of our lives. This is a woman who would talk shit about us behind our backs. This is a woman who would cheat. This is a woman who would create false accusations that lead to legal proceedings to destroy all of us. Like, this woman is frankly acting like a harlot, also known as the wayward woman in the book of Proverbs in the Bible. If you want to understand how women work, read the book of Proverbs and the book of Ecclesiastes, especially Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. And I quote, "I know something more bitter than death itself, and it's the woman whose heart is traps and whose hands are shackles, and only the righteous man will escape her." Okay? And this is something in the Bible claiming that there's something worse than death. And it's women who act like this woman. She is worse than death. And like, I will have no respect for any man who ever commits to her. I would say that he's the biggest schlub loser, and he's committing idolatry because he's committing the same exact sin that Adam did in the garden, literally putting his woman on a pedestal. It is disgusting. But that's the thing, like, you have good Play-Doh, right? Good Play-Doh, they're all about representation. They're all about obedience. They're all about peace. They're all about gratitude. Yeah, every now and then they got to be reminded and whatnot. They're still women. They're still solipsistic. They're still innately entitled. But at the end of the day, they actually bring those things. And you know what that does? That inspires devotion. And then they get the 4 devotions. What do men give women? I mean, maybe do you think I should have been like an SD beta male cuck answering this woman? What do I get out of it? And I said, well, all of your needs, emotions, desires, and problems are going to be handled. Do you think I should have done that? Like, absolutely not.
It goes without saying. That's what she should already pick up on that just from your vibe, because SD men are all about vibes. UD women are all about vibes too.
They're all about vibes, yeah.
But her vibe meter must be off if she can't recognize value.
Because she's so like
she's UDJ.
Poisoned by SDism, which turned this implosive woman into someone who's UDJ, and she's just disgusting. She's so disgusting. You know, like, yeah, she's nice to look at, kind of like eye candy, but that's like her only value. And even then, the eye candy is going to go away in a couple years anyway.
And then what's going to be left? None of the 4 reciprocations.
None of it. None of it. Absolutely none.
So, like, what's the point?
Yeah, and you know, and women in my life, I handle their needs, emotions, desires, and problems, and I teach them how to express those things to me and to actually communicate them with me. It's just absolutely, it's critical. It's critical. Here's another thing I give them. I give them this thing called endless vacation. What is endless vacation? My women are not expected to work or have a job. They just take care of the home and have babies and take care of me at home. That's what they do. Endless vacation. They get endless vacation. They don't have to deal with all the stresses of the world, because here I am, their man, holding back the real hell for them.
And it's forever too.
Yeah.
So like, the whole point of having a family is to raise children. Well, when the children are adults, guess what? The man is still taking care of the mother of those children well into old age. Exactly. Do women respect that?
No,
obviously they're getting the long end of the stick by default. So why should you have to justify on top of that all the other stuff that you're bringing to the table when that is the main thing?
Yeah.
And how many guys can pull that off with all the divorce going on and
that's the
amount
real
of single mothers? Yeah,
it's the real
flex. They just don't understand you're already bringing that to the table by default. So she doesn't even have to ask what you bring to the table.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show that her perception is shit, because she can't see. She can't see me. Like, here's the thing about unconscious developed men. We have to be seen. And if we're not seen, then we don't even want to have to deal with the woman who's not even capable of seeing us. But here's the problem with subconscious developed women, the Jezebels of the world, the wayward women of the world. They expect us to see them because they're the ones who want that attention. And it's like, bitch, I ain't giving you attention. And it's not my fault that your dad wasn't around to give you attention. It's not my fault that you ran away. It's not my fault that you had sex with the football team. It's not my fault. Get out. No, thank you. Like, you made your choice, and it's your job to preserve your value. And this is what fathers need to be teaching daughters. It's absolutely critical. I did a video on this on YouTube recently, on the C.S. Joseph YouTube channel, literally demonstrating why this is actually important. And it's a very controversial video because I'm calling into question women's virginity. And it's like, who are they going to give their virginity to? That's the number one choice a woman makes in her life. And you have all these disgusting women in the comments of that specific video talking about how it doesn't matter. Literally signaling to all of the men of worth who are actually watching that YouTube channel and basically showing everyone that they're all disgusting. And again, those women who act that way, I would never, ever tell any of my bros to commit to them. And I would threaten them that if you do commit to a woman like that, guess what? Who behaves that way? Guess what? We're not friends anymore. Like, that's just the reality. And let me tell you something, bros before hoes. Because if you don't, or if you're not there for your bros first, you ain't got nothing. Because you're there in life holding back real hell away from your women and children. That's what you're doing. But guess what? Your bros help you hold back the real hell so they can have the heaven that you created for them. Maybe they should be fucking grateful for it. But show me a woman who is. Show me a woman who's grateful. I bet you can't. That's the problem. Women are so ruined. Society is so ruined.
There's a book called Hardball for Women, and it basically describes how boys and girls behave on playgrounds when left to their own devices. So the boys will pick team sports, something where there's a clear winner or a loser, and they'll immediately build a hierarchy. If they run into a problem where they can't solve it, they'll elect a leader to make the decision. Whereas women or girls, when they're playing games, they choose games that don't have a clear winner, like playing with dolls. There's no winner for playing with dolls, or like hopscotch or something. And even then, if they come into a conflict, they're not going to elect a leader or establish a hierarchy to deal with it. What they'll do, it's observed in this book, what they'll do is they'll stop the game altogether. Like, oh, we can't decide what to do, let's just stop. Which is funny because that is exactly how SD men behave when they encounter a problem. They just shut down. We had a bunch of guys we organized politically, and the moment they ran into something that gave them a bad vibe, they shut everything down. They didn't want to contribute anything anymore. Not that they did to begin with, but that's how they behave. They behave like girls do when they can't solve a problem. They just shut down. They don't default to hierarchy. And if they do have a hierarchy, it's not going to be organized right, because it's going to be a bunch of SD men forming a mob mentality and not have an actual leader. There is no actual leadership with the SD men.
It's like this woman in my past, she told me like how women act in groups is that they have to pass around a torch between each other, and whoever's holding the torch is their current leader at that moment. But then they still don't respect that leader.
Yeah, every decision has to be second guessed. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they never decide on anything.
They never decide. Yeah. And it's absolute chaos. And there's no hierarchy. You have to have a man to set the hierarchy.
You can see this even in adults. It's not just children, because there's a show, I think it's called Survivor.
Yeah.
Where they go on the island. They had an episode where it was like an entire group was just women and the entire group was just men. And you see that exact dynamic happen with the men. Immediately they elect a leader, even if he's not the best leader. It's like, well, we need one, so we're going to have one. And then the women, they're far behind. They don't have their own shelter. All the men are instantly building stuff. And what happens later on in the show is that the women start coming into the men's camp because they've already established everything. They have the hierarchy. And the women are still doing this thing where they don't know what to do, and they have no clear leader. Like even weeks into the show, still nothing. And it speaks for itself. Like the result comes from hierarchy, and then the lack of results come from, oh, well, we don't want an actual leader because then that will put me in a position below, and everyone should be equal. Like the focus on equality is like an inherently female characteristic.
Yeah.
But the fact that the SD men behave that way too means they're behaving femininely, and it's contrary to their nature to be SD.
That leads to what you call the telephone circle jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so explain that for the audience. The telephone.
Well, because they don't
jerk.
have the SD men, because they don't have a leader, they just start talking to each other in circles. And like the game of telephone, the more you talk in the circle, the more distorted the original message gets. And then they all start making decisions based on a bad information loop that they've fed to themselves.
They fed to themselves. The self-perpetuating bad
Yeah.
information loop.
It's like a human centipede, like that goes around in a full circle,
Yeah.
and it just gets worse and worse and worse as time goes on.
It's the endless Ouroboros basically, and until they finally get to the end of the Ouroboros and there's nothing left.
And you have, in order to destroy the mob mentality, once they get
Yes.
into a mindset like that, all you have to do is sit back and watch.
Sit back.
They will
and
destroy
watch.
themselves.
They will just, yeah.
The whole thing will go up in flames.
Because if my father had a statement that he taught me as a child, I may talk really negatively about my father on my shows, but I want to make it clear I do love him, and I am still thankful for him in my life. One of the things about him, he had this saying. He called it "Don't feed the bears." He's like, "Don't feed the bears." He'd always say that, and what he meant was, it's like, don't give stupid people information because then they're going to act stupid more, basically. And I'm like, coming from a subconscious developed man, I'm like, hey, I totally get it. Nice projection there, Dad. But he was right, because if you engage with any of them when there are, like that show Naked and Afraid, another survival show, right? And these SD men are walking around like boys, acting like they're naked and afraid. But if you give them any kind of information, they will latch onto it, because anything is better than nothing, because they're looking for, psychologically, they're trying to latch on to that mother archetype. They want to find mom. They want to find Mother Earth. They want to find Gaia. That's what they want. They want to find mom. And oftentimes as UD men, we end up realizing that they're trying to project motherhood onto us. Oftentimes. So if you even engage with them a little bit, it'll just keep them going. It'll feed into the stupid. It'll feed into the mob mentality. Oftentimes what you have to do with SD men is you have to completely disengage, because they will perceive, not that it's true, they will perceive anything that you are saying to them as another link in the chain, or another square within the safety net. And they're trying to build a safety net because they are all obsessed with having a safety net. So if you're challenging them socially or in any way, shape, or form, they have to have a safety net. They have to have that backup plan. They have to have that safety net to fall back on. The more you engage with them, it's like little links in a chain, or it's little, or like those little squares or stitches that get added to create their safety net that they can have around you to protect them from you, basically. And the more you're interacting them, the more you're feeding them their perception of being able to create a safety net, collectively. But if you stop engaging with them, psychologically, they don't have the ability to create a safety net around you anymore. And that's even more terrifying. And they're already extreme anxiety because they're subconscious developed men. They have higher anxiety than unconscious developed men because they have that extreme anxiety. That anxiety will eat them alive. And then they'll start getting really paranoid. And then they'll start having delusions as a result of their paranoia. And then they'll feed each other those delusions, which will lead to even more delusions. And it creates this insane downward spiral that leads to their own self-destruction every single time. Every time. To the point where it's like utterly disgusting as to what they're able to, as what they're going on, and how that is happening. So what we call this is weaponized silence. Literal weaponized silence. If you want to destroy subconscious developed men mob mentality, disengage from the mob entirely and let the mob make enemies of each other instead of uniting against you, because they will only unite against you every time you engage with them. You have to stop the engagement.
Yeah, and if you're engaging with them and then you stop, now there's a void, and they're going to fill it with all the stupid thing. All the stuff that they're talking about in the bullshit. Downward spiral gets filled into that void.
Yes. Because they have this ego investment. All subconscious developed men have this ego investment, and the ego investment is guilty by association. This is a concept that I realized applied to subconscious development after Asher, aka Breadman, came up with the concept of the mob mentality, SD male mob mentality, leading to cannibalism and cannibalizing somebody within the group because they're just different, because they're using inductive reasoning, trying to get everyone to the same, while UD men use deductive reasoning just to be able to find out what's different. And they're trying to, figure out the same, oh, this person's different. So it's either guilty by association or innocent by association. The innocence by association is especially dangerous with mob mentality because the actual really bad character people out there are being seen as innocent, even though they're actually the worst actors out there, right? And SD men consistently act this way over and over and over. And that guilt, so what you have to do is, because they try to have innocent by association, you're associated with us, so you're automatically innocent. You know what that's also known as politically? Oligarchy. It's the old boys club. Literally, it's SD male mob mentality that is innocent by association. And they give each other that special treatment. If you ever felt like a group of men were not giving you what you deserved, and they're giving special treatment to someone who didn't deserve it, that's literally because of their innocent by association situation. So what you have to do as UD men in that situation is you have to do guilty by association. Let's say you challenge one of them, and then what they'll do is they'll try to go to their SD male mob bros and have safety in numbers and try to challenge you back. And then you could be friends with all of them, and then you actually end your relationships with every single one of them because they will, elect somebody to go talk to you,
If they elect someone to come talk to you, and if you go silent on them, they'll just find somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing the game of telephone again, just with like individuals instead of groups.
Exactly. They want to be able, because again, they need to have that stitching, they need to have those links in the chain to be able to create their safety net to protect themselves from you. So someone has to do the dirty work and actually interact.
Right. And then because you see the little messengers they send to you saying different things, you can catch them in lies because they're not talking to each other, or if they are, they're doing a poor job at it.
Yes.
And then you can see the inconsistencies between the messengers. And it's like, oh, well, clearly.
And it reveals them.
Yeah, it just says it all.
Another
reason why letting them destroy themselves with silence is the way to go, because all the truth gets revealed through silence.
And for some reason, so the hot chicks are attracted to these fucks. It's not that they're attracted to these fucks. They're actually attracted to the UD men. Like, actually. The subconscious developed women are actually attracted to the UD men. But the reason they get with the SD men is because they feel safe around the SD men so they can control them. And this is where I have such a big problem with Rollo Tomassi.
Well, the SD men also withhold information from the SD woman.
Yes.
Information that would make them look bad if the SD woman was aware of it.
Yeah.
So they're able to get away with being weak as long as they hide it. And they just appear strong and silent because they're hiding all these little details that would expose them.
Yeah, when they're in reality, they're just non-confrontational. So Tomassi, he describes like the beta male or the alpha male in his books, The Rational Male. And he talks about how you have alpha fucks, beta bucks, that kind of a thing. And it's just a projection. It's completely and utterly a projection. All men were made to be alpha. And what to be alpha is actually unconscious development and subconscious focused. That is what alpha is. That is male alpha mode. That is UDSF. All men were made to be alpha in that regard. The thing is that requires a rite of passage. That requires an environment that cultivates and supports unconscious development. That requires them being supported and being authentic societally, or sometimes they don't care if they're being supported with their authenticity and they're just going to be authentic anyway because they don't give a shit about fitting in with anyone. But here's the thing. Rollo Tomassi, he is a subconscious developed male, and he is projecting that perspective into his books. Because when he's like, oh, well, she's going to go get with the alpha, she made her feel safe. And it's like, no, the subconscious developed woman, because he's only paying attention to the subconscious developed women in his book. He's only paying attention to the hot chicks. That's all they care about anyway. The SD men, that's all they care about. He's projecting. So she's like, oh, I want to get with the more dangerous guy. That's the machismo guy. It's still a subconscious developed male cuck.
Yeah, he's trying to bypass the rite of passage by appearing like he's unconscious developed while not being.
Yeah, and he's appearing alpha, so he's machismo. So alpha fucks, according to Tomassi, is actually machismo, actually. And then beta bucks is the guy, she still can't feel safe around the machismo guy. She can't. She can't feel safe around him. So then she's going to go get with the beta bucks guy because she feels safe with him, but she's not attracted to him. And this alpha fucks, beta bucks whole perspective is still within the confines of SD. It's still a subconscious developed construct.
This whole framework is operating in the SD box.
Correct.
He's not considering anything outside of that.
He's not considering it. Where we're out here, the 20% of men that she actually notices, which he is projecting, assuming that it's the machismo guys, because he's wearing that thing on his head all the time. He's wearing he's trying to show his arm muscles all the time. Rollo Tomassi has a serious problem with machismo. If you actually think about it, he has a serious problem with machismo. His whole show is machismo,
and he has no idea, but it's making his wife feel unsafe the more he does that.
Yeah, and
she wants him to be harmonious. He's trying to be authentic.
Exactly.
SDJ.
Yeah, SDUF males, which is implosive, stoic, strong, silent type men who are also authentic. They're the machismo guys, and they're the alpha fucks. They're still losers. They didn't do the rite of passage.
No way around it.
Yeah, there's no way around it. And
everything around it is just a cope, and it's going to fall apart.
And then the girls these hot chicks end up with these developed subconscious focused SDSF men, and those are the beta bucks guys, because they feel safe, but they're not attracted to them. But they'll be attracted to the machismo guys, but they feel unsafe around the machismo guys. So it does not matter. The subconscious developed woman is still screwed over for her whole life, basically within the subconscious developed dating realm, or global sexual marketplace, or anything for relationships. It's a complete fucking waste of time. Complete waste of time. And that's a big problem too. Okay? So what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Well, the UD men are a better option. The problem is that the UD men, we only want our fresh Play-Doh. We only want our pick-me's. We don't want these hot chicks anyway. So because of that, the subconscious developed women, they see us UD men as something to be desired, something way higher outside of this alpha fucks, beta bucks system that they have. And that's kind of like a really big problem. So
there was one more comment that kind of ties into this.
Oh, okay, yeah. I love comment time. Let's do it.
So Navy Doc says, hey, low IQ morons, red pill is what kept me from joining the 22. Veterans who unalive themselves every day. Try actually talking to a man who's been through everything red pill talks about before red pill ever became a thing. So here's a guy who we're criticizing the box, and we're saying, no, we're talking about outside the box, but he can't even conceptualize that because all he can think about is inside the box.
His entire reality is literally a projection from a subconscious developed man. Oh, wait, we just talked about the mob mentality circle jerk. Tomassi is literally playing this collective game of telephone with their stupid mob mentality within their SD box.
And it makes sense only as long as you only see the box and that's it.
Yeah. And that's all they can see. Because it's all about those feel-good vibes.
And that's what this show is all about. We're exposing the box for what it is and what exists outside of it.
It's stupid.
It's like Plato's allegory of the cave. We're outside of the cave. You guys are in the cave.
They're in the cave.
And then we're criticizing the cave. And they're like, oh, well, don't do that. The cave is what keeps me safe. And it's like, well, we don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to talk about the outside world that you're not even aware of.
Yeah.
We're going to expose it for everyone to see in daylight.
Let's smoke them out. It's so terrible. But then, then there's that horrible representation of the allegory of the cave that's at the beginning of 2001, A Space Odyssey film, and it's, ultimately satanic. And, they finally came out of the cave, and, they have this great knowledge and this great epiphany and whatnot. And it's like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say when you're trying to, take UD male symbology and turn it into something satanic with that stupid dark monolith at the beginning of the film. That's not the point. The point is this. Is that yes, you're not going to be able to go through your rite of passage. Yes, you're not going to be able to have your epiphanies until you come out of your fucking cave. Why the fuck do you also think that subconscious developed men have their fucking their man cave? I hate the idea of the man cave. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, your whole house should be the man cave.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are
the
you
whole house.
relinquishing your house and relegating yourself to a corner of it?
Exactly. Oh my God. Because it is
and then they decorate it with all the sports ball stuff and they make it all nice and comfy.
Super
And it's
comfy.
just pathetic.
It's pathetic. It is. It
And
is
their
so
women
pathetic.
look at it that way too,
Oh God, I hope so.
because it is. It's just objectively pathetic.
There's a verse in the Bible that goes like this: "Better to be on the corner of one's own roof than in the home with a quarrelsome and disrespectful woman." Oftentimes, that man cave thing, I find it so disgusting because men, have that behavior and act that way because they're, again, allegory of the cave, they go into the cave. But also at the same time, they have that really horrible, bitchy, loud, disrespectful, quarrelsome, subconscious developed wife to come home to as well. And that too is a huge problem. That too is disgusting. And it's just like, oh, okay, what are we actually going to do about it? So they're both wrong. That's why SDism ultimately is a cancer, and it is a sociological psychosis.
It's a
Quoting
bunch of
Asher
people
again.
coping with lack of proper parenting and then lack of rite of passage.
Yeah.
And there's no way around either of those things.
And the ultimate societal support is the rite of passage. It's proof of that. If society actually has your back, it will force you to go through the rite of passage anyway. The right support, having your back by selling you downriver so that you can, have epiphanies that society doesn't give a shit about you. That's what I call society having your back through the rite of passage. But how society can have your back through the rite of passage is because society respects the men who survive the rite of passage. That's the difference. And society doesn't even respect that today. Society is so degenerate that they don't understand.
At least the men have the option of the rite of passage, even if they never take it.
Yeah.
Whereas the women, they're kind of screwed. Like if they
they're entirely screwed.
since they're born with value, if their value is already lost from the get-go, there's no getting it back. Whereas the men, they can come around later if they so choose, or something forces them to go through a rite of passage.
Yeah.
So at least the men have that option, which is the real hope for men, not this fake red pill
Yeah,
stuff.
let's talk
that's
about
putting them in the box.
Let's talk
how
about
to best live inside the box is the entire philosophy of
the
praxeology.
Yeah, the praxeology,
of the red pill.
of the red pill.
Trying to dress it up and like all these.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
It's all
such a
dressed
code.
up.
Yeah.
It's all completely dressed up. It is an ideology. It absolutely is an ideology. I don't care what Tomassi says. It is an ideology. When you have society, structured around this ideology, you have, and of course, the Tomassi followers are, oh, you're fucking purple pilled. And it's like, no, I'm not. You are choosing to be in this mob mentality mindset within this subconscious developed box. And you're always going to be weak the whole time. And you're going to be using women. You're all a bunch of womanizers. You are actually harming children. You are harming yourselves. You're harming these women. And you're making them worse for everyone else. Like we know this guy, for example, who boasts about sleeping with so many women in town, and then he starts acting like he's doing all his bros a favor by, oh, I broke them in for you. And it's just stupid, degenerate bullshit like that.
Yeah. And for some reason, they don't take offense to that because they're still trying to like glom onto him and like, oh, but how do you do it?
Because he's got the machismo.
They don't care that he's spitting in their face by saying that because they want to get something from him because they want to be the machismo themselves.
They want to be the machismo. They want to look alpha or whatever, and that's not even what alpha is. Like they don't even understand, and it's just. And what this ends up doing is that it ends up cultivating a stealing of male potential. Male potential, which is a man's future, is what is attractive to women, right? And a woman's lack of history is what is attractive to a man. You got to be the Play-Doh. But on the other side, you want to be, you want to make sure that your male potential is ensured. Well, what is the solution? We talk a lot about problems. What is the solution? The solution is this. The solution is isolation. If you're a subconscious developed male and you have SD friends, isolate yourself from those people immediately. Force yourself to stand on your own. Create your own rite of passage, basically.
And being alone is better than being part of the game of telephone and the downward spiral.
Exactly.
At least you're pulling yourself out of that, even though you're going to be lonely.
Yeah.
But at least you're not ensuring your own downfall with this groupthink.
Schrodinger's testicles. Because they're going to get a lot bigger in that isolation, and you don't know until you open the box. Because they better not be in the SD box, the Tomassi box. They better not be in that stupid, because they're better off. Because otherwise, if they're in the box, it's a culture of stealing their potential. And why do they think the women are consistently initiating divorce with them all the time? Like it happens consistently. And it's because their male potential, the rite of passage, for example, has been completely stolen from them for the sake of their mob mentality. And here's the problem. They have to risk being cannibalized. They have to risk being harmed. They have to risk being the victim of the pitchforks and the torches from the mob mentality, from the mob, if they actually do want to isolate themselves and complete a rite of passage and be forever different.
You can't face the mob if you're part of the mob.
You can't face the mob, yeah. And you have to be able to face the mob. And we told you how to do it.
And that could be its
silence.
own. That could be its own rite of passage, is removing yourself from the mob.
Yeah.
And then they have you as the outsider.
Exactly.
Whether you remove yourself or they remove you.
Exactly.
And then how you deal with that.
Exactly.
Might be its own rite of passage. That could be all it takes to get you out of it.
Exactly. So, I think what we're gonna do is that we have a guest, but we're gonna end the show, and then we're gonna start another show specifically for our guest, who is actually going to kind of walk us through what we've already discussed, basically within the confines of the show so far. Do you have anything to add?
No.
All right, cool. And then I think in the next episode we're going to also be talking about the stink of death. I think,
Which is the opposite of having a bright future, good potential.
The complete
the
opposite.
attractive trait.
Yeah.
That men can have.
We talked a lot about in this episode about how SDism has harmed women. We're also going to look at how the stink of death basically is the result of how SDism has harmed men in general, basically.
And it's basically you're brandishing that you don't have a bright future when you have the stink of death.
Yes, brandishing you don't have a bright future. So we're going to be talking about that in the next episode, folks. So anyway, thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you folks on the next episode.